Welcome to Tibara's Den. My name is Whitney and welcome to another CAS Monday. If you haven't seen last week's videos, definitely check them out. We are doing a series based on the different zodiac signs. We are doing both Western zodiac as well as Chinese zodiac. So like I said, definitely check out last week's video. We started with Aries, and we did their Chinese zodiac twin of dragon, and so that's kind of going to be the theme going forward for the next year. Each month I'll do the Western zodiac for that month combined with the Chinese zodiac twin. In the weeks in between, we are doing the Primal Zodiac, which just combines your Western zodiac sign with your Chinese zodiac sign. So for example, I'm a Virgo and I'm a rabbit, so my Primal Zodiac is an earthworm. And so that's what we're working with here. And so for each month, I'll do the Western zodiac of that month. So like I said, we started with Aries, and so this is Aries combined with the different 12 Chinese zodiacs. And I kind of debated how I wanted to do this, and I decided to go ahead and break them up because each Chinese zodiac kind of has like an element assigned to them. And so I decided I wanted to kind of break them up based on the element. And so there's 5 different elements in the Chinese zodiac, and we're starting with earth here, and then we're going to do fire. There's also metal, water, and wood. All the information on this will be linked in the description below, where I got my sources from, all that. So definitely check those out if you just want to kind of learn a little bit more. But first off, we have, of course, Aries. All these Sims are Aries, combined with the year of the dog. And so this is a Doberman Pinscher, is this Primal Zodiac sign who we are creating here. And so I named her Divana, which means a leader who shows the way and guides. And I'm just going to read through kind of the description of a Doberman Pinscher based on the Primal Zodiac, not the actual dog. And so, much like their animal namesake, members of the Doberman Pinscher sign are something of a contradiction. They can be dominant and aggressive one minute, then insecure and anxious the next. Dobermans are very focused individuals. Once they decide what they want, there is no stopping them. The only downside is that they don't plan very well, and their impulsive actions can get them into trouble. They very rarely worry about this, though, as they have a way of bouncing back from most bad situations. Dobermans have trust issues that stem from their own naivety. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. They are constantly wary of what to trust because they have a tendency to believe anything they are told. Members of the sign are typically outgoing and adventurous and think everyone should be. They enjoy taking others with them on their adventures, acting as guide and helper, hoping and expecting that everyone else will enjoy it as much as they do. And then it goes on to talk about different careers. Some famous Doberman Pinschers are Seth Rogen, let's see here, Vince Vaughn, Mariah Carey, Alec Baldwin, Gary Oldman, Jane Goodall, Doris Day, Robert Frost, and Harry Houdini. And actually, my husband is a Doberman Pinscher, so he is an Aries, and then his Chinese zodiac is, of course, the dog. So basically, I kind of took things that kind of jumped out at me and decided what kind of sim I was going to make. So for Divana here, she is going to be in the military as a covert operator, which they say they like jobs where it can kind of fit into their adventurous side, but they're also helping people. And so for her, I thought, this would be adventurous, and then she would feel like she's kind of changing the world as well. Of course, you're kind of limited on careers in The Sims 4, but that's what I decided to go with for her because, firefighters, EMTs, police officers, and pararescue jumpers are perfect career choices for them. But of course, that's just a vague description. It kind of talks about other types of jobs if those jobs don't really fit. But basically, that's what I decided to go with for her. And then her aspiration, I decided to do extreme sports enthusiast because it does have the survival trait. And since they are outgoing and adventurous and they also like to help people, I thought that would be a good aspiration for her. And then, of course, her traits, I gave her adventurous, outgoing, and then I gave her erratic, since they can kind of contradict each other as far as like their emotions, being dominant and aggressive one minute, then insecure and anxious the next. They can be focused, but they can also be impulsive. That's why I decided to give her the erratic trait as well. For all of these Sims, I'm trying to capture a little bit of a physical essence of the animal that is their primal zodiac sign, but at the same time make them more realistic. So I apologize in advance if any of you are one of these signs and the physical aspect of that sign isn't quite what you think it should be. Like I said, I was trying to add in the animal aspect there as well. Obviously I don't look like an earthworm, so so I was trying to kind of balance the two out. So for her, I gave her very strong jaw and then kind of a streamlined, body type, because that's Dobermans. And actually Doberman pinchers are like my dream dog. They're one of the breeds, if I could stop losing my heart to every dog that comes along, I would love to have a Doberman pinscher one day. And my husband always jokes that I have him, so I don't need one because I have him. But it's like, it's not the same thing. So for her outfits, I was trying to go with kind of a professional look, but also ready to jump into action at a moment's notice, which is kind of a theme among most of these primal zodiac signs. They're all Aries, and so that adventurous side is definitely a key component with all of the different primal zodiacs under this sign. And so I was really trying to get that essence, professionalism, but ready to jump into action, and just kind of a tough chick vibe as well. And so you'll see that, and I am going to do the full array of outfits for all of these guys, which you'll see at the end. I'm only going to show on camera their everyday outfit. And for Devana in particular, I did several outfits because like some of her, like her formal look, I did 2 different outfits, and then I think for her swimwear I did 2 different outfits. Because she's a covert operator, I wanted like a more professional looking outfit, and then more of like an undercover outfit, if that makes sense. So if she was on the job and she was going to a formal event, or a yacht party or something like that, she had 2 different outfits. So her personal style is more professional looking, like boss lady, tough chick type look, and then her undercover outfit is more like glamorous, maybe a little bit of sex appeal, things like that. So that's kind of what I was going for her. And so this is the look I came up with for her everyday look. A button-up shirt underneath, and then a jacket. They always depict in the movie, like, the I don't know what word I'm trying to find, but they always have that jacket like they swing on when they're getting ready to jump into action. And so that's kind of what I was going for her. So you definitely let me know how you think I did, and whether you are a Doberman or not, and whether you think the description of them fits with you. So next up we have Takim T-Rex, and of course the Tyrannosaurus Rex, and this combines Aries with the Chinese zodiac year of the dragon. And so her name means power to govern or to rule. And so this is the description on her. Tyrannosaurus Rex needs no introduction, not the dinosaur nor the person. Members of the T-Rex sign are impossible not to notice. Their very presence dominates every situation they are part of, from social gatherings to a day at the office. Not surprisingly, Tyrannosaurus Rex are very polarizing. People either absolutely worship them or hate their guts. Not that a T-Rex would care, let alone notice. They tend to be very self-involved, yet carry a sureness and charm that others admire. They are natural leaders, and they know it. Both the dinosaur and the person are on top of their respective food chains and have no intention of giving that up. This sign is the most aggressive and demanding of all the primal zodiac signs. They can be absolutely tyrannical, as the name should suggest. If they don't have any control over every situation. Or if they don't have control over every situation, they can become tyrannical. They're extremely capable of success and love proving it by overcoming challenge after challenge. They cannot be stopped simply because they believe they cannot be stopped. They're used to getting what they want, and if they don't, they shrug it off and move on. And so their natural energy and confidence makes them a natural salespeople, and they love the challenge and reward that comes from the game of sales. For this one, I didn't want, there's not a whole lot of options as far as that goes career wise, and I wanted something a little different for this character anyway. So I actually made her a writer in the journalist branch, and for the adventurous side, I can see her, going like she's like a worldly journalist. So like she's the one going to war zones and things like that. That's what I wanted for this sign, and she's, really good at getting people to talk because the people like absolutely worship or hate them and they're impossible not to notice. I kind of wanted to go with an alternative vibe for her. So she has the colored hair and it's shaved on one side, and then she also has like some piercings and such, which you will see in a second. And so I wanted that aspect. And yes, I know I still need to remove that CTE, which I actually have. Since I've recorded these videos, I've gone in and got rid of all the hairstyles that don't work. But anyway, so that's what I wanted for her. Her aspiration is a Mount Komorebi sightseer, and that's because they get the bonus trait of worldly knowledge. And then she is self-assured, she is ambitious, and she's also self-absorbed. And so that's kind of what I went with for this character, this sim. And I really like her. I think she's cool. And again, I tried to kind of combine like a certain professionalism, ready for action, with kind of an alternative style for this sim. Like I said, she definitely doesn't care. Like she's gonna wear what she wears, but she also has that professionalism about her, I think. And so I hope I was able to capture that with my outfit. Like I did more of like a jacket style than like, well, of course there's jackets, like not like a suit jacket, but like a ready to go into action jacket, if that makes sense, which you will see here in a second. Like I said, I did give her piercings, just she has the eyebrow piercing there, and then the nose piercing, and then I gave her, some of the multiple piercing earrings, which is actually a custom content piece I have. And then I just like the idea of glasses on her, and I don't know, I really, really like this sim. I really enjoyed creating all these sims, and so it's really, really hard to choose a favorite. And I've actually done all the 12 Primal Zodiacs under the Aries sign already, and so I have kind of a good idea of the different characters I'm working with, and I absolutely love every single one. There's like a certain confidence about the Aries sign and such, and then combining with all these guys, I think it's so cool. And it's kind of cool because she's actually, I created Dragon, Aries and Dragon, they're the Zodiac twins. And so last week I created the Chinese Zodiac sign of Dragon, which was a completely different character or sim that I created. And so it's really been kind of fun creating this, and I love the inspiration that I got from this. And so now you can see I'm just trying out different styles. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to go with. I knew I kind of wanted an alternative style, but then journalists kind of have a professionalism about them as well. And so I kind of wanted to capture, like I said, both aspects, but I do see her being out in the field and such. So, wearing like a suit jacket or something like that really wasn't feasible for her, but at the same time, something like she just had on really isn't all that professional. And so I was trying to, like I said, really, really balance it out and just figure out which way I wanted to go. And so the end I went with this jacket. It's simple, but it is a little bit alternative in the fact that it's not typically something that you might see a journalist on TV wear. But like I said, she's traveling the world and she's like in war zones and such, so it needed to kind of be functional as well. And so that's why I was trying to kind of capture. And then I just did some pants, just basic pants. I thought black would be nice. And then I do some boots for her as well. I decided to go ahead and paint her nails. Yeah, I really like how she turned out. I think she's such a cool character, and I could just see her, traveling around the world and just kicking butt. No fear, no fear at all. The only thing I wish I had done different with this specific outfit is the boots I went with were these ones, which are black. And some of the red options I actually liked a little bit better. There was a red option a couple boots before, and then this option would have been fine as well. That's the only thing. I like the red. I like the contrast to the pants better than what I gave her. So anyway, that is my T-Rex. Next up is the hippopotamus, which combines the Aries with the Chinese zodiac of the ox. And so for him, his name is Hadaf, and that means object, goal, or target. So let's go ahead and read his description. And it says, it's somewhat ironic to call this sign hippopotamus, since a person's initial reaction to finding out that this is their sign will be outrage. I'm not a hippopotamus. They are fat and lazy and way too passive. That's not like me at all. This just defines how misunderstood both the person and the animal really are. The hippopotamus, the animal, is often portrayed as passive and sweet and fat and lazy, but in reality they can be highly dangerous if you step into their territory uninvited. Grown hippos have canine teeth up to 20 inches long and can snap them down on opponents with the force of a sledgehammer. They are generally passive among their own, but can explode in an aggressive rage if pushed. This sums up people born under the Primal Zodiac sign quite well. They are serious and forceful when necessary, but mostly they are just hardworking and goal-oriented. They house a lot of inner conflict as they are simultaneously adventurous, ambitious, reserved, and focused. Hippos can be stubborn and judgmental, and though usually even killed, can be impulsive when upset. Achieving balance should be the life goal of most members of this sign. And so they have a good work ethic, they are highly focused on their careers, but they are strong and authoritative by nature. And so one of the top ideal careers for this sign was a police officer. So I decided to make him a detective. Aspiration, I gave him fabulously wealthy because it has the bonus trait of shrewd. And I think they have that hard-working side to them. And so that's why I wanted to go with that trait. It's not so much, I hate and love that trait because I like the fact, the description of it, but it's kind of misleading, thinking it's all about the money, where it's not in this case. He just wants to be, successful at his career and such. He is hot-headed, he's ambitious, and he's also adventurous. And so you'll see under this sign, a lot of the traits kind of overlap with each other. So a lot of these sims I'm creating have one or two overlapping traits that is similar with some of the other signs, especially the adventurous part. And so yeah, that's Hadef here. And so for him, again, I was trying to go with a professional look, but ready to jump into action. Like I said, in movies and TV shows, they're always portrayed as the detective, they get a call and they swing the jacket up and put it on and get going. So that's kind of what I was going for his look. And then there's kind of a couple little Easter eggs in the other looks of his. And that's just because not anything to do with the sign. So if you are a hippo, if you're Aries and an ox, I am so sorry. But I just thought it would be funny because you got this big tough guy, and so like his boxers are the boxers with the little hearts, and his swimsuits are kind of more on the small side, things like that. And it's just, I thought, this big tough guy, and then he has little heart boxers. I thought it would be cute and funny, and so that's why I did that. So again, if you are an Aries and an ox, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend or anything like that. I just thought it would be cute. Some famous hippos are Keira Knightley, Adrian Brody, David Blaine, Eddie Murphy, Susan Boyle, Merle Haggard, Warren Beatty, Charlie Chaplin, Vincent van Gogh, Hans Christian Andersen, and Johann Sebastian Bach. And so now we are on to the catfish. And I'm doing 2 separate houses because obviously there's 12 signs. You can only fit 8 sims in a household. And so I'm doing 2 separate households, and he would actually fit in with the second house, better than he does within the first house. And I actually have one sim in the second house that would have fit better in the first house. But like I said, I'm doing it based on elements, and this is the sign of the Aries combined with a sheep, and it's an earth element. And so like I said, even though he would probably fit better in the other household, I'm trying to stick, to the elements and combining those households together, or those elements in one household. And so the catfish, I named him not intentionally. I didn't notice this until looking at it later, and I'm not sure if it's pronounced Caston or Caston, but it means a good-natured, energetic, sensitive, and emotional and able person. And I just thought it was cute because looking at it, it's casting catfish, it's really cute. But let me go ahead and read their description. And so catfish are complex and somewhat mysterious creatures, far more than most people. Those born under the sign of catfish will experience strong inner conflict during their lifetimes. That is because catfish have two very different sides of their personalities. They are difficult to get into sync with each other. They are simultaneously strongly masculine and feminine, aggressive yet sweet, active yet lazy. Members of the sign somewhat resemble a hyperactive child. They mean well and truly care about those around them, but sometimes they can't help but act out. They are generally kind and caring, but have a tendency to say the wrong thing and offend others. Being a catfish can be frustrating as their actions don't always match their intentions. Though typically social, in these difficult moments, members of the catfish primal zodiac sign will head off on their own. Like their animal namesake, it's as if they will sink if they don't keep moving forward, looking for a place where they finally feel comfortable. Catfish are sensitive, and when their lives are out of order, they can be very emotionally unstable. They often show a false sense of confidence to others because they care very much how they are perceived. Internally, they are unsure of what direction to take with their lives, but are unstoppable, driven to keep moving forward. And that part right there, unstoppable and driven to keep moving forward, I think is what really, shows the Aries side of the sign. But anyway, the key to happiness for the sign is to learn to relax and allow life to happen as it will. It will be very hard for them to give up control, but if they do, they will find that life is actually much more simple than they ever imagined. And so for their job, they need to be able to move around both physically and creatively. They use their intuition rather than logic to figure out what career suits them best. They need to serve their sense of adventure as well as their creative side. So they still have that adventurous spirit as well. And so for him, I made him a freelancer under the paranormal investigator, and then the aspiration I gave him was painter extraordinaire because the bonus trait is expressionistic. And I thought that would be kind of cool, especially paranormal investigator. It's a little bit adventurous, and it's definitely kind of a creative field. And so I thought that would be fun to give him. Unfortunately, I can't figure out how to cheat the paranormal investigator license. It says you can buy it in the reward store, but I wasn't able to find it. And then of course traits are active, creative, and then I again gave him erratic because he does have the two different sides of his personality. So yeah, that's cast in, and now I'm just going through their looks. Like I said, for Divana here, I did multiple looks depending on the situation, kind of professional, and then her undercover look. And then for Takim, more of kind of eccentric kind of look, or alternative, I guess. And then Hadaf, I did more of a tough guy ready for action look. And then Caston, I did kind of just a fun creative look. But I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys here. Come back on Friday. We'll finish the Aries house 1 off with the fire elements. And yeah, we will see you guys on Friday. Have a great week. Bye.